how to effectively journal and actually get good results rather than just writing things down. That's what you're going to be learning in this video, so make sure you stay to the end to understand the whole process so that you can really get some results from journaling. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post. But other than that, let's find out exactly how we can journal. Now, you may be like me and have hundreds, well, not hundreds, well, I've got 5, I couldn't find the other book, with loads of things about journaling, affirmations, all that kind of stuff, really writing down day by day, but not seeing results. So you're probably watching this and you're probably already doing that, or you can completely new to journaling, which is totally fine as well, because I'll explain the exact process. What we're told about journaling a lot of the time is to just write down every day, just write down our thoughts. Now, I don't necessarily like that, and I've done that. As you can see in this book, I would write down affirmations, I would write down, and it was just page after page after page, and I did this for over a year straight, every single morning. And I like to do it with, I wrote 11 things in the morning, I would write 11 affirmations, I would write something 11 times, and then 11 times in the evening, so I was really focusing on getting it done. Now, building discipline muscles is important, so I believe it's a good thing to do, but if you actually want to see results in it, stop journaling every single day. You don't need to journal every single day. Now, if you want to do it every single day because you genuinely enjoy it, then do it. But if you're doing it more intentionally and you're actually going to get better results, and you're actually going to answer some of your questions, and you're actually going to solve a lot of your problems as well. So this journal, as I said, it's not about making it about every day. It's not about journaling your thoughts and what's gone on in every single second of every single day, which some people may assume a journal to be. And there may even be some guys out there watching this video that feel like journaling is more of a girly thing to do, and that's what I thought when I originally came across it. But I've seen such benefit from it, and then also I've realized the more I did it, eventually it just happens in here, and I don't need to journal, but I choose to journal at times. Now, I don't do this every day. I do it a few times a month, if that, because I don't need to, because it's already up here, and I'm already asking myself these specific questions each day. So I'm going to get you to ask yourself a bunch of questions, and I'm going to get you to answer these questions as well. Because when you answer these questions, you're going to get the results that you desire. So before we get started with journaling, I want you to ask yourself these 2 questions. First question being, who is someone who truly inspires you? Now, you're going to need this for the exercise that I'm going to get you to do in your journal, but I need you to find at least one person. If it's 2 people, it's 2 people, but find at least one person who truly inspires you. And I'll give an example for myself. Originally, it was Tony Robbins. Now, when I would combat difficult situations, I would always say, how would he act in this situation? Because a lot of people say, well, how would the best version of myself act? And yes, I believe that's how we should think. And that's how I do think now. But when I first started, I needed to see someone who was already in a position that I wanted to be in. I was in such a painful state of mind that when I thought about myself as the best version of myself, I couldn't really think that far in advance. I couldn't really think of being the most confident, happy, the most abundant, the most free-willing person, and the most loving person. I couldn't think that far ahead. But I could think about how Tony Robbins would do it, because I understood and I studied and I really enjoyed everything that he spoke about and that he taught me. And then also, just before you start the actual journaling exercise, you can also do this. Now, if you don't necessarily have a question on your mind, you don't have to do this part, but this part is very beneficial if you just want to answer some questions for yourself. For example, how can I be more confident? How can I allow myself to be more successful? What can I do in order to grow my business? What can I do to grow my YouTube channel? How can I ask that person out on a date? How can I be more self-loving today? And really ask yourself questions like that. Again, this is not a necessity, but this is a very powerful way if you don't have anything to specifically speak or write in your journal. And again, you can do this on your phone. There's nothing to say you can't do this on your phone in your notes. It's really down to whatever you prefer as a person. I personally prefer writing. I don't know why. It's just more soothing, relaxing, whatever you want to call it. So when you've asked yourself that question, or you are going at it about something that's gone on in your day that made you feel angry, or that made you feel worthless, or made you feel negative, or made you feel pain, I want you to use these 2 questions. And these are 2 separate questions. And there is another question as well that I will get you to do every day. This is actually quite important for you to do every day. But these 2 questions are very powerful. So once you've got your situation, whether it's the question, how can I be more confident? How can I be more self-loving? Or something that went on, how could I combat this? I want you to write down this as a question, and then I want you to answer it. How would I give advice to someone who is in the situation that I love, that I care about? So a friend, a family member, a partner, someone like that. How would I advise them? And then you're going to get some good advice, because at the end of the day, you have powerful advice and you know you better than anyone else. So subconsciously, you're going to be giving yourself the advice. Then you can sit back, take a step back, read it and be like, huh, that's very true. And then the second question is going back to that person of inspiration. How would they handle this situation? Or what advice would they give to someone? And this is the most powerful one. You're going from your advice, but you're also going from an expert's advice as well. And when you use this other person, because you may struggle to find your own advice at times, and we're going to struggle, but how would the other person that inspires you give advice? What would they say that is going to help you specifically? Because when you use this, you can then understand this, and again, you're programming your subconscious mind to say, so if I combat it this way, then I'm going to get a better result. For example, or writing down something like, why do I feel so worthless? What advice would you give to someone who's in that situation? I would say, are you really that worthless? Because by the sounds of it, there's people that do love you. There's going to be people that hate us in life. But are you really that worthless? Are you? Because to me, I would say you're not. I would say you're actually quite amazing. And we would never berate someone who we love and who we truly appreciate in our life. So why do we do it to ourselves? And then also getting that information from that person that inspires you, that is going to say something along the lines of, I don't know, again, this is sort of coming from your imagination. You are here for a purpose. You have something of value to offer other people. You are not worthless. And we're really drilling into ourselves this powerful information through the act of journaling. Because as I said, this eventually becomes a subconscious habit. As I said about the one question I want you to ask yourself every single day is, when you wake up, whether you write this down, whether you type it out on your phone, obviously I recommend to not use your phone for at least half an hour before you wake up, after you wake up, sorry. But I want you to ask yourself this one question. What is the greatest version of myself that I can be today? What is the greatest version of me that I can share with other people? How can I be the best version of me today? Because when we start asking better questions, we get better answers. So if we start asking ourselves this on a daily basis, and whether you do write this down on a bit of paper and you put it underneath your phone or even on top of your phone. So when you pick up your phone, you are reminded straight away every single morning, what is the greatest version of myself I can be today? And then you start to get great answers. And as I said, this may not be the generic way of journaling that most people do it. But what you're doing is you're asking better questions which give you better answers. You're not just writing out everything. And there are different ways of journaling where people do generally just want to write stuff out just to get it out of their head. And I do agree with that kind of stuff. That's why I make videos. If something's going on, I will make a video about it because it allows it to go out of here into the camera, well, onto the SD card. And that's the physical action of releasing it for me. Now, some people prefer to journal it out, and that's perfectly fine. But this is more of an intentional way of journaling to actually get results in your life. So with that being said, I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. I hope you keep spreading love, kindness, and so much positivity. Yeah.